Thank you very much to State Representative Brenda Carter of Michigan's 29th District, who's got her Zoom all set up at her house. And Representative Carter, thank you very much for joining us today in the MegaCast.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to have you. So, you might have just heard us talking to County Executive Coulter, and I'll throw this out to you. We have our hands full right now trying to untangle this. Um, how big of a part does the Michigan legislature do you think should and does the Michigan legislature want to play in helping the governor formulate the next steps of what we're going to be doing here in Michigan?
I think the legislature, both branches, have a significant part in helping the governor formulate this because we are represented by Republicans and Democrats from all over the state. So each one of us have our constituency that we listen to, and we bring back their concerns about how they're experiencing the pandemic and what they would like to see. So I know the governor listens to all of us, and she takes into account how this pandemic is adversely affecting our community. But I also know it's her number one concern, and I believe of the legislature that we are safe in whatever we deliberate on.
Do you think that the legislature and the governor are going to have divergent interests in this, or are there conversations going on so that everybody can come out with one unified message? Because we have seen plans, in particular from the Republicans, that look a little bit different than what the governor is talking about. And you know what? I'm not going to get partisan here. I think it's okay for people to have different ideas. But at the end of the day, do you think we're going to come together, or do you think there could be a battle? And let me just let the listeners know what you and I already know. The governor can pass these executive orders and continue them on her own. There's a little bit of controversy about that, but according to the reports I've seen the last couple of days, she can. But A, should she, and B, do you expect that will be of one voice?
Okay, I know the governor's her primary concern is the safety of Michiganders, period. She is also very aware of the economic impact of this pandemic, but she's looking at whether or not there would be additional hot spots in the state of Michigan. Right now, as County Executive Dave Coulter said, the epicenter is in southeastern Michigan. But every day we have more cases over in Kent County. We have cases in Ingham County. We have cases in Genesee County. So she's watching all of this with her experts and then also listening to all of us. It's not as she's keeping it as nonpartisan as possible as she assessed the true state of the pandemic on Michigan. Now, we all know that Michigan did drop to number 5 or 6 in cases nationwide, but we're still number 3 on the list as far as mortality deaths. So she's watching all of this, and most importantly, the situation of whether or not we have adequate testing throughout the state to maintain that if she does open the state in areas regionally or specific, that she has a system in place in case she sees a spike. That's the concern nationwide with what I'm hearing from a lot of sources, that they want to make sure that if the country is opened up, we open up safely. And I know that is the concern of the governor. So to answer your question about where I feel she's at right now, she's going to put the safety of Michiganders first. As far as the legislature is concerned, and the my colleagues that I work with in the House of Representatives, and I do believe in the Senate as well, they do want to see some of the economic pressure taken off of our small businesses and off of our communities. But from what I'm hearing, and this is ongoing, I have to tell you, it's a dynamic conversation, so I cannot get into it in detail because as we were speaking, I received a text that I cannot, I cannot share. But I know that it is a debate that's going on, weighing the health risk versus the economic risk. And I feel confident, personally, I feel confident that the legislature and the governor is going to do what's in the best interest of our state.
State Representative Brenda Carter with us. It is Zoom, Representative Carter. You could just take your cell phone and plant it right there next to that purple stuffed animal. We might be able to accidentally read what's on there, and then you would you wouldn't get in trouble.
And it is there. I just want you to know, but no, you can't accidentally
No, that's
read
cool.
it. I'm sorry.
I get it. You know what though? It's good to see that there is dialogue going on, and there's going to be some divergent interests, but it's good to see. Tell us where you weigh in. I mean, I think you said it well. You set the landscape. We have got to get back to work. I mean, money's getting tight. We got to get back to work, but we got to do this in a healthy way. What are you hearing from people right here in the 29th District? These are the people that are listening to us right now, and can you bundle that up? And what would you tell the governor if you were sending her a text message in a couple of minutes?
Yes. From what I'm hearing from my district, we have businesses that are suffering, and it's all 5 communities. And if you allow me to name them, Auburn Hills, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake Village, and of course Pontiac. But another aspect of this pandemic that is a little disturbing to a lot of people in my district is the impact it has on minority communities. And of course, Pontiac is one. My district has been very fortunate, and I'd like to give a good shout out to the Oakland County Health Department under the leadership of County Exec Dave Coulter. He created a dashboard that will allow us to go out there and look at our area by zip code. So right now, even though Oakland County has a real large number of cases and deaths, Northern Oakland County, where my district is located, has not felt the blunt of that. Yes, there has been death, okay, but it hasn't been these huge numbers. So it goes back over to our businesses. I think, Mike, our communities are more concerned that we do not spread this virus. So all the things that are helping, like social distancing, it's really, really working. And from what I'm hearing from my colleagues in Keego, Pontiac, is that they are, it's painful. It is extremely painful, especially if you're a small business. I have one small business in particular that I will not name, but I'm very close to the owners there where their entire livelihood is dependent on their business. And some of the red tape that we're going through with the stimulus package and the payroll protection plan is really not simple for them to obtain these necessary funds to stay in business. I'm concerned that a lot of our small businesses, we got a wonderful little bakery out there on Orchard Lake, Ellen's I like to go to. I'm concerned that they may become casualties of the pandemic, but I'm also very proud. I'd like to say I'm proud of how District 29 has stood up in the face of this pandemic and became more of one community. All 5 cities in District 29 are really reaching across those boundaries and helping each other. So I know that we're hopeful that this is over soon. I'm personally hopeful that we can find a way to assist our small businesses in our community, but also, most importantly, and this is where I stand, I really would like our community, our district to remain safe.
Well, I think we all do, and that was very well said. I like this show, not just because it's mine, but I like this show because we could take time. You can't do what you just did and talk for 3 or 4 minutes on most media outlets right now. You can't do it on a radio talk show. They got too many commercials to play. So I appreciate hearing your full and complete thoughts, and I, like you, share love and enthusiasm for those communities. That's why we got these 3 radio stations in Auburn Hills and in Bloomfield Hills and in West Bloomfield, covering Pontiac, covering the exact landscape that you talk about. And this is where I think, it really comes right down to, what do we do? It all happens at a grassroots level. So I'm kind of wondering, do we right now, the restaurants, they could do some carry out, can we trust the businesses in our neighborhood, the folks that that you pop in and see? Can we trust these folks to implement even the more detailed orders from David Coulter and open the door a little bit or do we need some more time? If you're talking to the governor today, if you don't mind me to ask you, do you want to see the door open a little bit, or do you think we need a little more time?
Well, and that's a good question. Thank you for asking me that. The scientist in me, and I have that medical background also, is saying we don't know enough about this virus to make an assessment, nor do we have the amount of reagents or PPE that we need in case we have another surge in this. And economically wise, we cannot afford another shutdown. We just really can't. Cabin fever is about to get to me, so we cannot afford another shutdown. So my personal feeling is that if I saw the numbers, and I watch them every day, I get up and look at where we are, not only in the state, but where we're in the nation and where we're in the world. If I see those numbers, as President Trump actually said, I believe in one of his briefings, he defined a period of time where the slope of the line should be sustained for, I think, a 2-week period. And if that occurs, if we see a downward turn for 2 weeks, then maybe we have contained the virus, or maybe we will come up with more testing facilities where we could properly gauge what's going on. And like I said, northern Oakland County, where my district resides, we really have had a small number of cases in relationship to southern Oakland County and, of course, Wayne County. But those communities are in proximity to each other. We have relatives that live in maybe cities like Southfield or Detroit or southern Wayne County that we have to mitigate the spread of the virus. And I think County Executive Dave Coulter really brought up a good point. I'm from Oakland County, which is a very high area in southern Oakland County, but I have family in Lansing and I have family in Kent County. I would be concerned. Because once again, I do not know how defined this virus is.
All right. Well,
I think if we took the time to see the true scope of this virus, we can better assess whether or not we want to open up, how we open up.
Message received, and I appreciate you weighing in on that and taking a position, and it's greatly appreciated. So we only got a couple of more minutes before we say so long. Let's talk about the coronavirus task force on racial disparities. I think we're all shocked, We're all shocked over the last couple of weeks to see the impact that the coronavirus has had in the African American and other minority communities in our nation. And boy, I'll tell you, right here at home. What is this task force? What are your goals, and where are you?
Okay, well, this is a task force created by the governor under the leadership of Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. And she reached out to various communities, mainly the ones in Detroit, to subject matter experts. These are doctors, epidemiologists, all kind of people who are very versed in what's going on in the minority community. One of the things that I am really focusing on, obviously, I'm African American, and health disparities are throughout our community. I would like to have seen someone closer to Pontiac, which has between our African American community and our Latinx community, 65% majority minority. Well, I'm very hopeful that this team of experts that she put together will properly address all the disparities of minorities, not just African Americans. Like I mentioned, we do have a large Latinx population as well as Chaldean, all races, Asian, that we need to look at these all holistically across the state.
All right. Well, I appreciate your thoughts on that, Representative Carter. Anything else you want to add before we say so long today? Any other thoughts for the folks tuning in?
Yes, I would like to just really, truly give a big shout out to District 29 and the collaboration that I've seen between these communities in the 16 months I've sat in this seat. And this also includes West Bloomfield, because the children of Orchard Lake Village, Sylvan Lake, and Kego attend the school system in West Bloomfield. So I'm very pleased to be a part of that community as well. But I just love to see the collaboration between these communities actually becoming one district. And I'm looking forward to working with the 5 mayors and the school districts going forward to ensure that if we have a situation similar like this in the future, that we have systems in place to address it quickly.
All right. Well, thank you very, very much for joining us, Representative Carter. We got some tough days ahead of us. We know that we're going to start to see. We can have you back on. We know we're going to start to see the economic impact of the coronavirus impact state government. You're going to have some tough decisions along with our other lawmakers as we start working on taking the dollars that we have, which is going to be a lot less than what we thought, and figure out how to distribute those and work on a budget. It's going to be a handful, but we'll save that conversation for another day. But thank you very much for being with us. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I do want to give a shout out to the Michigan Economic Development Corporation
Sure.
for bringing two businesses to District 29. One of them is Detroit Zone. It's located in Pontiac, and they will be doing 50,000 masks a week. They received a $50,000 grant from MEDC, as well as the Oxus America Corporation in Auburn Hills. They received a $100,000 grant to retool their business to build ventilators. So that in concert with what Dave Coulter's doing, which is testing over at the 1200 building every Thursday, appointment necessary. We hope to continue to contain the virus here in the District 29, and hopefully by containing the virus, we'll be able to return to something we would call normal.
All right. Well, Representative Carter, thank you for sharing that. That's the story of those two businesses. We'll get that information from you. We'll follow up. Jeff or Tyler and I will follow up with you and get the information. Maybe we get those businesses on the air and find out exactly what they're doing and tell their. I'd love to hear their story and tell that on the Megacast. And if you're just tuning in and you heard Representative Carter talk about the testing that's going on in Oakland County, the number to schedule an appointment. You don't need to go through your doctor. You just call this number, a nurse will answer the phone, and they'll get you scheduled. It's 800-848-5533. 800-848-5533. We got more testing going on, and that's good news. Representative Carter, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon.
Once again, thank you for having me.
All right, she is your state representative from the 29th right here on the Megacast.